Hi guys, this is intro to Google Sheets. So 2.5 and 2.6 in our work and our content has a bunch of stuff that has to do with Sheets, and then rest of chapter 2, and then we might see it later on. Throughout your careers, I know in data management, grade 12, you'll be using it extensively. I'm not sure about other courses, but it might come up here and there. The grade 10 course is changing also, so you might get a different version of the grade 10 course, which might require you to use Google Sheets. So Google Sheets looks like this. So you go to your Google Drive, you hit New, and then you go to Google Sheets. This is a spreadsheet. There are other ones. The most famous probably now is Excel. It started with Lotus 1, 2, 3. There were other ones too. Microsoft Excel is the other one. What else was there? There was, I can't remember now. There was a bunch. And they're very similar. There are things that you can do on Excel that you can't do on Sheets, but nothing that we require you to do in this course. So here is a spreadsheet. So you have, these are called cells. So each of these little things are called cells. These are columns, sorry. Across the top are columns A, B, C, D, and it goes on forever. And you can keep going and going and going, and you can keep adding more. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then going down are the rows, row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just remember columns like in a Greek, like at the Parthenon, right? They go up and down like this, and then rows go across like this. These are cells. So this guy right here is in row 2, or sorry, let's do it this way. Column B, row 2, so this is cell B2. This is cell C2. Over here, we're at B5, and etc. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the examples from the text. So what you're going to do for this one here, it says to go ahead and put all the stuff in here, January, February, March, April, put all of the months, and then start putting these numbers in. And then what we can do with the spreadsheet is it can do calculations for you. So spreadsheets are awesome. They really are. I think they're great. And I think with the way the world's going with AI and that sort of thing, I think they'll be even better soon. So, let's leave it at that for now. But so what we have here is I want to make it look like this guy here. So I have, your name here, month, income, spending, and monthly ending balance across the top. Sometimes you can cut and paste these things. I didn't have that. I didn't get it to work this time. So month, income, spending, monthly ending balance. See if I can remember that. Month, income, spending, monthly ending balance. So a couple things right away. You might look at this and say, you messed that up. So when you type here, it goes in the cell, but then up here is where you can correct things also. You can go up to the top here and clean it up. Next up here, we had the months, and we had January, and we had February. I don't think there's a faster way to do this. Let me just see. Maybe there's a way to cheat. Is there a way to do this quicker? Yeah, it does. Okay, so it's smart enough. Every time I use this, it gets smarter. So the cool thing is, if you just go and you click on April, it now knows that if you take this little corner here and you drag it down, it knows it's going to guess that you're trying to do all the months of the year. So it'll pull it down here, and then you get to October. Keep going. What would happen if I went too far? Let's see. Yeah, so it goes into the next month. So if I do this, I didn't want this to go all the way to January and February again. Just go here, and then you hit delete. Backspace will work sometimes, other times it won't. So delete is how you get rid of that. And then here it was, what was it again? Your name bank account. So your name. So, Lupos bank account. Okay. So a couple things. First off, let's get these gray. So what you can do is we format the cell. You can format the whole column, if you want. So you can click on this, and then you can format the whole column by going over to this thing here and clicking this and then choosing the color. So, but the problem with that is it keeps going, right? It goes past. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. You can cut it off here. If you don't want that to happen, if you don't want the gray to go too far, you can just highlight the cells that you want. So I'm just holding down my cell or my mouse and going across like that. And then I go here and I find this, and then I'm going to choose one of them. It doesn't really matter. And then over here, I'll do the same thing here. I'll go here, and then it'll default to that too. There's other ways to do that too. You can also go ahead and then you can format this like this, and then click that. See how it did that there? So it took the format. I clicked on that, then I clicked on that, and then it took the format across. I didn't want that to happen, so my best friend for everything is this undo. You can undo that. You can also format it white also, right? So you can go here, here, and not white, but clear. And you can do that. Other things too, a couple things. One, I don't like how this is like this, right? The balance goes too far because it's too long there. What you do is you click on this one here, and then again, my eyesight is bad, so I've zoomed in. You probably don't have to click on these three dots to get further, but you go here and then you go to text wrapping, and there's different text wrapping. There's that one there that goes too far. This one here, the second one, bends it, makes it fit, and you notice it makes it wider, makes this one taller. If you don't like that, I don't know. There is a little give and take on this sort of thing. And the other thing too is I probably want that centered. So I probably want, I don't know, I want them all centered. I want at least these centered. Do that. Another thing you do here is if you don't like this being, like if you want this to be one big column, you can actually merge the cells here. So you can go, where's that? You can go here and then hit this one here and merge cells and do that. If you don't know how to do anything, you just hit help and start typing. It'll tell you where to go. So notice now that this is one giant cell. So I center this across A, B, C, and D. Get up some of my coffee here. If these are too wide or not wide enough for you, you can move them like this. Okay, you can move the columns this way. You do the same with the rows. The rows, you probably won't do that. But if that's what you want to do, you can do that. So I'm going to leave it at that. That was the initial thing. You can format everything too. You can format them all to be the same width also by going into format and playing around with that. The other thing that I find neat too is when I scroll down, notice now I've lost the titles. So if I'm here, I don't know what this column's for. One thing you can do here is you want to keep this, if you want to keep this locked in, is you go up here this corner, and if you pull down like that, and now I have that broad, wide stripe here. That stripe means all this is stuck here. And then if I go like this, notice now the titles stay. And you can do the same thing this way also. If your data gets really wide, you can do it here. Oh, sorry, there's a problem with that one. So the problem was that this is a merge cell. So now I can't do that necessarily because it's a merge cell. I don't want to do it anyway. But so you would probably have to unmerge it or get rid of it. So again, go back and delete it, or you can break the cell up. That sort of thing. If I made a mistake and I want to put in a column, if I went, oh, you know what, I forgot to put spending here, and instead of moving things around, you can always move things around, but you can go here, and then you could insert column, and you can choose which side to put it on. So you can put it on the right, or you could put it on the left. Kind of neat. Okay, and that was 3 columns for some reason. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just playing around with it. So there's all that fun stuff there. And then you go ahead and let's go back to the example we're supposed to do here. So let me get there. So 150, 375, 0, 150, 0, 375, 200. Okay, so 150, 0, 375, 200. See if my old brain can remember that. 150. No, so I hit enter and I went there. I want there. Oh, 0, 375, 375, and 200. Let's see. Okay. So notice that it's kind of strange. Numbers don't get. Notice the words are automatically centered, not centered, but flush left, and these are flush right. Numbers are flush right. That's the way it does it. You kind of get used to it. I don't know if that's good or bad. If you don't like it, you can center everything. You can do whatever you want with that. Like I said, when you put in numbers, they are treated like numbers. Text is treated like text. If you want a number not to be treated like a number, so you can't add it, what you do is you can put like a little apostrophe on top, and now you won't see it as, you won't see the apostrophe, but now this is actually text. It's not a number. So I don't know why you want to do that, but you could. So let me make sure I did this right. And now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to figure out how, it says here, what you want to do is figure out the monthly ending balance. And it tells you exactly how to do that. You want to type B3 minus C1 into cell D3. So B3 minus C1. So you can actually, this might work if I copy and paste this. Let's check it out. Sorry. Oh, I don't want that. What just happened here? I do not want to search. Okay, back here. Let's see if this works. Paste. Okay, so the problem with that is okay, so I want B3 minus C3. So forget that. Don't copy and paste it. When you want to put an equation, you go to the cell and you hit equals, and then it starts doing formulas. So later on you're going to be able to do some things. For example, you can find the mean, and you start typing things and it'll do things for you. It's pretty amazing, right? As soon as you hit equals, it starts doing the function. And then you could type in, if I want to do B3 minus C3, you can type it in like that and hit enter. And, I don't know what just happened there. What just happened? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Oh, gosh. I put this in May and June. You're probably like, you probably saw me do that. Okay, so I'm going to cut and paste that here. My mistake. And I'll do the same thing here. Cut and paste that there. And then that's all wrong because I moved with it. So let's just try that again. Moving formula is a little different. We're going to talk about that in a second. So B3 minus C3 and hit enter, and it's 150. So look at the format. I don't like all that. So again, I'm going to click on this. Notice how that 150 is much bigger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change all this to be the same size font. So I'll go to 12, and then I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. So notice again, it's moved it to the right. It's gone left. You can play around with that after if you want. Okay. So that's great. And I'm going to show you another way to do that for the next example. So now what I want to do is here, you can probably figure out how to do this. What you're going to do is you're going to go equals. And then what I want to do is the formula. So if I go to the formula here, if I go to this formula here, what I want to do is D3 plus B4 minus C4. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, and it makes sense because what I want to do is I want to take my previous balance and I want to add to my income, subtract my spending. So instead of typing it in, you'll notice when I click on things, it will choose it for me. So instead of typing in the next cell, which is B4, I can just click on B4 and then I can hit subtract and I can click on this guy and then I hit enter and then that happens. Now I'm not sure why this is on this side here. Let me try that again. Equals B3 minus C3, enter. That's funny. So I'm going to move that to the right there. Anyway, so that's that. And then what you can do now is I'm going to just show you, do a little bit more here. So the other numbers were for the rest of the month. They were rest of the month 75, 50, 75, 50 were the next one. So I go 75 and 50. And then what I can do is I can then just take this formula from here that was in cell D4, and I can, instead of copying it and changing everything, I can just take this, take my cursor, put it in the corner and pull it down and it'll copy it through. And what happens is automatically when I went down a row, it went down a row for everything. Okay. So notice this was D3 plus B4, and now that's D4 plus B5. So it said, look, you wanted to start with D3, which was this guy. Now I want to start, when I'm in this cell, I want to start with this guy. So it's quite smart that way. It can be annoying if you don't want it to change, and I'm going to show you in the next example how to not have it change. Okay, so you can do that for everything. Put all the info in here and then just pull that down like that. I think I covered everything, but I'm going to continue with the other example in 1 second. Okay, one other thing I forgot to do here is if you want to do the sum for the column, once we get in numbers in there, you can hit equals and then you start typing sum. And then it's quite bright. It says, do you want this sum from B2 to B14? And you say, yep. And then it will do that for you. And again, you can just pull that across this way and it will change from column B to column C to column D. If you're not sure what it's doing, you click on the column that you're looking at. It says, look, sum this up C2 to C14. And notice it went all the way to C2, which is text, and it didn't affect it. So if we add this up here, right, this is 250, that is 250. So it didn't say, oh, error.